This one leveled you, Elton, doing this. When this whole world is done with me.
This whole world is done with me. Just know I came this far to be broken up in pieces, scatter me among the stars.
Beautiful song, Elton. It's about your own mortality, about
Of course,
what happens.
yeah. Also in that you can hear my classical background on the piano. I started singing, I started playing the verse and thinking, this is really nice, I like this. And I'm happy with the way the piano was sounding. And I got to the chorus, and then when I finished the chorus, I obviously knew what it was about. And I just broke down. And that's never happened to me ever when I've written a song before.
Really?
Never. I mean, it's just, the lyrics are so beautiful, and they're just about, not just me, I think they're about Bernie too, they're about us, the relationship we've had, the beauty that we've had. I couldn't do it on the day that I wrote it because I was just too upset. Andrew said, I did do it, but it wasn't very good. And Andrew said, you're going to come in tomorrow and do it live, vocal and piano at the same time. And I did, and I did 2 takes, and the second take is the one you hear on the record. Yeah, it was upsetting because we think about, I do think about, passing away, what's going to happen, my children, David. I mean, I'm the fittest I've ever been. I've just had the most incredible medical test results. So I'm not going to be passing away, but it was just touched a nerve. And, sometimes you think, oh, I don't want to go. I want to be with my boys. And you don't know when that's going to happen. But for the time being, of course, I'm not going anywhere.
That piece that he plays at the ending under the brass band is masterful too. And this was all in one take when he did this ending piece. It was just like he composed it.
What do you mean in one take with the guy?
He composed it in real time. So he sat down and just composed this piece. He didn't practice
I can't even comprehend that.
Yeah, it just came out of him.
This piece,
right here?
Yeah.
Right here. Listen to this piece.
Wow. Oh my God.
This band.
Beautiful.
That is out. It might be one of my favorite parts of the whole album.
You never played that before, sitting at home?
I sat there and I just played that piece straight the way through. It was extemporization. I was making up as I go along.
Jeez.
And
what?
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. When I bring up Beethoven and Bach, it's like he just goes, just record this. Or just let me write something, and that just came out, and it was outrageous. No one can do that who's alive now.
Are you religious, Elton?
I was never religious till I got sober, and then I figured out there've been so many things that. Why did I go to America? Why did I go to Liberty Records to do the audition where I met Bernie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe that someone's driven me and protected me, and got me through the hard times. For example, when I was 3 years sober, I was in my house in Windsor. I didn't really know anybody outside of AA. And I phoned up my friend. It's 2:00 in the afternoon on Saturday. And I said, listen, I'm all alone. I'd just like to meet some people. I'm not interested in sex at the moment. I'm not interested, but I'd just like to meet some people. If you can bring some people down tonight at this short notice, I'd be very grateful. And David came through the door that night. Now, what made me make that phone call? I have no idea why I did it. I just said, I've got to make this phone call.
Is that well known? That's crazy.
It is crazy. If I hadn't have made that, I would never have met David. My whole life would have been different. I wouldn't have had children. I wouldn't have had the most brilliant manager there is. I wouldn't have the love of my life. There's something inside of me that pushes me to make those decisions. I don't know what it is. Do I love churches? I love churches. I love religious places because there's something beautiful to go in a church and be there and just sit there and then hear the choir or the organ playing. It's something beautiful about it. It's just meditative. It's holy. It's truly holy.
To me, that writing duo of Keith Richards and Mick Jagger is mystifying. Elton, in your long career, have you ever sat in like with those guys and watched how they write? How many people have you witnessed write songs?
I got to play on the last album, Hackney Diamonds. I played on 2 tracks because Andrew produced it, and it was a great thing for me. I was so thrilled. And for me, I played on the Dylan track, I played on a Lennon track, I played on the Harrison track, I played Ringo. I haven't done a McCartney, but I've done the Stones. And Leon Russell, and Leonard Cohen. So it was on my bucket. Ray Charles.
If you go into a Stone session, do they go up to Elton John and say, "Don't play it like this, play it like that"? Do they direct you?
Of course,
they
there's
do.
If I play on somebody's sessions, like new bands like Yard Act or Rina Sawayama or whatever like that, the problem with me is I go in and I'm too Elton. And they don't want Elton on their record. They want a piano player, but they don't want it to sound like Elton John because there's somebody else. So they'll come up to me and say, "No, can you just do it a little simpler?" And that's the whole point of doing a session. When I go back to playing on the Hollies, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. So, I mean, they always tell you what to play. And I don't bring... The trouble with me is I'm bringing Elton into the studio playing-wise, and they don't want that. They want their own act. They don't want Elton. They want my piano playing, but they don't want the typical Elton. They want what fits in their track. So, of course, when I did the track with Miley Cyrus and the Nothing Else Matters, Metallica track,
Yes.
it was Andrew's idea to start it with piano, and it kind of made it into a piano track, in other words. And so you never know what you're going to get. And it's when I did the Gorillaz track, it was the same thing as well. The whole point of it is listening to what they want.
Would it be fun, do you think, if you had a part of your life where you were a studio musician, where you had to go in, like sort of what Jimmy Page had to do in the beginning of his career?
I did.
You did?
So you started out.
I did the Hollies, I did the Scaffold, I did the Barron Knights, Tom Jones. I sang on records. I played on records. Oh yeah, I played and arranged "He Ain't Heavy." He's my brother for the Hollies.
You're kidding me.
No, he did.
If you listen if you listen to that record, you can tell it's me playing piano.
Totally.
I am more convinced than ever I need to make an album with Elton John. It's time. I mean, really, because I wouldn't have to do that much. What could we call it?
We call it Stern Stuff.
Yeah, Stern Stuff.
stuff.
Little Richard, to me, was such an enigma. And you pointed out, Elton, you say Little Richard was so confusing. I used to watch him on the Mike Douglas show. He'd come on and he'd be flamboyantly gay. And I was like, wow, good for him. He's who he is. And then he'd come back in 2 months and he was now a pastor. He was religious. No more gay. No more. It's all over. He's dressed in a, right? So confusing. And it only points out how sad, right? That he couldn't live his life.
It's like gratitude, too. It's like, thanks, Little Richard, because the fact that you had to live that way means that me and Elton didn't, and we just appreciate it, We don't judge him. We think that he was the architect of rock and roll.
When I first saw Little Richard play, I saw Jerry Lee Lewis play, and Jerry Lee Lewis jumped on the piano, and he was fantastic. But Little Richard just was so flamboyant and unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And he just stood up and beat the shit and sang like an angel and never got an award the whole of his life.
I felt like he was treated like a joke, Little Richard.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest voices of all time. And it's not just the rock and roll thing, the later things he did, the gospel things. I Don't Know What You've Got, Parts 1 and 2 is one of the greatest records ever made. I did a duet with him on my duets album called
The Power.
Amazing
duet.
It's an incredible. And to be with him and sing with him, he was so sweet and so lovely. Without him, I wouldn't exist. Really, I wouldn't exist without him. That piano playing, that exuberance, that flamboyance, that's inbred in me.